Crystal. Hey, my man, Crypto Line. Appreciate that. Glad that you can hear me. I'm missing a speaker output option on mobile. Interesting. It's all good though. Oh, what's up, Martinique? Good to have you. It will be good to do a Discord stage with you at some time too. Yeah, exactly. XL. Tag everyone. Let's make this thing popping, having fun with it. But how you feeling today, Crystal?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great.
Indeed. There's a little feedback, but it's not bad. Wait, can you say something again?
Hello, hello. Mic
Yeah,
check.
yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. Yep, everyone can hear
Yeah,
Crystal
awesome.
good, right? Cool, we got a yes, Crystal, we can hear you. Nice, nice. But yeah, how you feeling, Crystal?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. It's a little gray here on the west side. We are working from a newer space, an office space, beautiful space, um, in Venice.
Hey.
So
Yeah, it's pretty
I'm
nice over there,
feeling
right?
good.
You're in the office.
It
Is
is, and
is
it's
Ryan the team over there? Who else is over there?
Ryan Rodriguez is here and Tim is here. They're both working upstairs, kind of meeting on some things. I'm downstairs in one of the phone booths. I'm just kind of taking some space so I can say hi to everyone and talk through this. I'm actually so excited to talk through. I know that Discord
Hey.
is kind of a newer platform for me as far as engaging in the chat. So I love that we're sitting here talking it through, kind of facing one of our mini conversations. Jaehoon and I speak rather
Yeah.
often about all of our ideas and what have you. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Crystal and I, we talk almost every day, and yeah, just it's been great talking, and that's what I kind of wanted to really get to today. Some of the conversations we
Mhm.
have. I also wanted this, so just to lay out the purpose of this session is first of all, I want everyone to get to know each other. I want you all to get to know Crystal to get to know you all, and continue to build community, just like we did in yesterday's session. However, we are also going to delve into some of the marketing thinking and strategies that we have in Gala Music. And, Crystal, I just want to really, yeah, just highlight Crystal's thinking on this area because I've known how much thinking she has done in terms of marketing this special product. It's definitely a different product at the end of the day. So yeah, gonna be fun. Anything you wanted to add, Crystal?
No, I mean, I'm ready to hop right in.
Let's go. Let's go. Cool. But yeah, let's see. We have it's a good turnout, 37, 38. Um, we got a couple of I'm really proud of you. And Jeff, I appreciate you, my man. Continue to record these sessions. Thank you for holding it down on that end. Really helpful. So yeah, we're just gonna jump right into it. First of all, just gonna have some easy questions, some icebreakers, so that we can just get to know some interesting things about Crystal. So, Crystal, what is your favorite color?
My favorite my favorite color, yes, and I do love an icebreaker. It's the way we open all of our weekly marketing meetings, and it's such a good way to warm up to the space, you know? My favorite color is orange. I
Okay.
am a summer baby. Something about sunset colors, orange, pinks, maybe a deep blue. That's my favorite color.
Oh, Sarah talking about I be hating on icebreakers. Nah, Sarah, you just gotta make some better ones, you know what I mean? Nah, I'm messing with you. No, that yeah, no, definitely. I thought very hard about that question. Great answer, Crystal. What second of all, who is your favorite artist of all time?
That is my favorite and least favorite question because it's so hard. Favorite artist of all time, it depends on my era. And I would say my current era, I'm a Stevie Wonder lover.
Mm,
It's been the soundtrack to so many moments in my life growing up to now, and it's just timeless music. And the man
Mm,
is still sounding great, looking great. He just was a guest at Usher's performance in LA for his current tour, which it just he looked awesome. So yeah, Stevie Wonder.
nice answer, nice answer. What about your favorite genre?
My favorite genre, R&B, hip hop. Also in the recent years, I would say, last 8 to 10 years, I've really been leaning into my indie electro. Part of the beginning of my career was managing a couple of indie rock bands, just from their, backyard shows going up to, venues where they're paying 3,500 to 4,600 cab venues um, across the states. So, I mean, yeah, even in the indie rock, kind of indie electro genres too, but R&B and hip hop and soul are always is very close to my heart. That's what I grew up
Nice,
listening
nice.
to.
For sure, for sure. So yeah, just heading into kind of the background you have in music, what made you interested in wanting to work in the music field in the first place?
I mean, music has just always been around. I don't remember a time where I wasn't listening to music or wasn't on in the background. At family functions, growing up in the church, which I feel like is part of the beginnings of a lot of people who work in music or take a liking to wanting to be behind the scenes of what it um, takes to work in this industry, whether it's an artist, a promoter, a manager, more on the creative side or more on the operational tech side. It's always kind of those beginnings.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't remember a moment where music wasn't soundtracked. I always have a
mm,
song that quantifies or kind of paints the picture of a moment, and those are the kind of memories that I took a liking to making or being a part of. So that's kind of how the beginnings happened for me. I sung in the choir. I grew up dancing, which I know has been favorite fact amongst all of my colleagues at Gala. Yeah, I grew up dancing, grew up singing in the choir at church, grew up with my elders, my grandmother, my uncles always playing the classics. Um, yeah, I've always needed music around, and it
mm.
has kind of kept me. So I love being a part of just new ways of getting music into the hands, and the ears of people who need it.
Nice. And yeah, mentioning, you being a dancer, how did
Mhm.
participating in an art form in general just help develop you into being the person you are today?
I mean, art in any of its mediums, right, is one, so therapeutic, and it ties into the kind of emotional management of yourself, of growing up. And I mentioned this before, you all we all have a song that we remember that it just takes us to a place. So music has always kind of been that for me, and even on the more technical build of, you know, rhythm and cadence and those kinds of parts of music, which were very kind of instrumental to my dancing background. I see Emily in the chat. Yes, ballet girls. I definitely started on point ballet when I was 4. So there's just certain things that you start to appreciate and love about the art form,
Mm,
um, and wanting kind of be a part of it. It also becomes a little bit of your identity. Everyone talks about
exactly.
what's your favorite kind of music? Who's your favorite artist right now? Who was your favorite artist when we were, you know, 13, going through such a pivotal time? Like those things change with how you grow as a human. So the one constant though is it's music.
Exactly.
So it's
Yep.
yeah, it's very important for me, and it's always been a passion, no matter what part of it I'm intrinsic to, whether it be on the management side, creating these, creative kind of marketing moments that touch the people. Um, I've always kind of tied myself to being a part of the amplification of really good music.
Mm, no, most definitely, and that's what I think sometimes people don't realize, especially the way our educational systems kind of promote certain, topics, and don't really kind of highlight how valuable learning or developing art in general develops you as a person and your identity in general. So
Mhm.
definitely with you on that. But yeah, just wanting to talk about your journey into marketing.
Mhm.
It'd be great to, just let everybody know what was your prior experience before Gala Music.
Yeah, I always say I started my kind of music career back in college, where I went to UC Santa Barbara, a couple hours north of where I'm from, born and raised in LA. And we had uh, a very active programming board on campus who booked all of the concerts and cultural events for the campus. And we had a pretty substantial budget the 4 years that I went there. So um, I became a part of the board, and like I always have when it comes to coming in on the ground level, volunteered for a few quarters. We had quarters, not semesters. So volunteered for a few quarters, and then became a part of the board as the community manager, which is full circle that I'm talking to you right now, Jaehoon, on that. Started as the community manager
Mm,
for students, and then I
yeah.
kind of moved into events coordinator, and then pushed to commissioner of the board, where we were booking uh, anywhere from 6 to 8 concerts and full-fledged festivals, including a large one at the end of the year every year. Um, that was kind of the beginnings, and that really gave me my insight into what it would take and what if I wanted to be a part of this industry. And then I never looked back. Right before I graduated, I started doing some work with the Santa Barbara Bowl. There's a beautiful venue up in Santa Barbara. It's like the mini Red Rocks. If anyone in the audience has been to Red Rocks in Denver, it's carved out of a mountain. It's gorgeous. And started doing some work with them. They then got bought by a promoter called Golden Voice, a subsidiary of AEG. Then I started working with Golden Voice on concerts and other live music events and music festivals. Some of the bigger ones, and I worked on their marketing and brand strategy and growing kind of smaller festivals to bigger festivals, and then working on the bigger ones like the Coachella, Stagecoach, Camp Flog Gnaw, which is a personal favorite that happens here in LA annually. Um, but yeah, and while I was working at Golden Voice for nearly 8 years, going from marketing coordinators to mentoring a few um, kind of budding talents, music talents that came into the company. Yeah, worked all the way up to kind of director of marketing and brand strategy for a few of the brand festivals that Golden Voice were promoting. So, and in that, I found a liking to kind of more of the forward thinking, creative kind of tech spaces that we were pushing these live events into, right? Like, what could we do differently? How could we approach this differently? What artists or kind of niche um, groups can we partner with to expand? Now, something that I always took a liking to on the Golden Voice and was how strong the brands were as festivals, right? You think of Coachella, you think of like grunge kind of indie rock festival, right? That has grown over the years, beginning in the 90s. There's that very strong brand association, and there was something about Gala that has that same sort of foundational, strong branding. Like everyone here is on the same page, and being a part of a passionate cohort like that was always something that drew me here and interested me more. Besides my curiosity on wanting to kind of see what this side was like. So I know you're gonna go into this, and feel free to cut me off. But
Great.
it's a
Yeah.
lot of, yeah, we talk all the time, but I love sitting here and having this um,
Yeah.
conversation because it really gets to dive into how I'm thinking and how we're thinking about pushing the platform forward, Gala Music forward, how we're thinking of empowering each other and what the next steps would kind of be for that. I know we're gonna go into that, Jaehoon. So I'm gonna put a pin in
No, 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 I love it though, because
it,
you're
and then we
flowing.
can.
And you guys will notice, like, Crystal is very granular with the way that she thinks. Granular is actually like her favorite word. She always talks about. She always talks
I think
about.
it's
She's so
important,
granular about it.
because
You know.
and just a note on that, like
Yeah.
there is such richness in this community, in the team that is behind Gala Music, and there's no shortage of those creative ideas. But how do we implement them?
Yeah.
Where do we
Yeah.
start? What's the
Yeah.
priorities there? And that's a lot of what the
Yeah.
distillery is, between all of the amazing kind of thoughts we have behind, you know, where we want to take this as a collective.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and I know we'll dig deeper into that, but that's execution is important as well.
Exactly. Yep. And by the way, I just want to shout out, oh, we got almost 50 people in here. Make sure you guys continue to invite your friends to show up. Let's keep pushing the momentum of this community. Oh, look, it just turned 50 when I said that. So appreciate whoever did that. One thing I wanted to shout out is we have the mystery box that you can buy on the app now. I see Simon in the mix. Shout out to Simon for being a
Mm.
one-man army on the app. So everyone go try buying a mystery box in the app. It's a super smooth experience. So yeah, just wanted to highlight that. One more thing too before we continue is I see some questions, and we're gonna open up the questions later. But Robot Clinic, that question of, would you consider, instead of burning 30% from track sales, use that 30% to help artists market their songs, etc. I actually disagree with that. The 30% burn helps everyone in the ecosystem, and honestly, like, this platform, the people who are winning the most right now are artists. You guys get the highest emissions, 70% from track sales, and we don't get a cent from that at the end of the day. We burn it, which will help you at the end of the day because it'll get everyone's emissions to grow. So just wanted to touch on that point because I think it's a great conversation to continue to talk about. But yeah, sorry, didn't want to derail this, but yes, we'll open
I
up the
think that
question.
hopping back and forth between the questions is fine. You know, however
Yep.
we can help, and even to Robot Clang, to your question, or just what I get from this question and what you're trying to get at is, how are we using some of the budget, whether that be resources or what have you, to help artists market their songs via the platform.
Mm,
And there are additional ways that marketing could help empower all of you, especially on the artist side, to feel confident in marketing their music on Gala Music, which is a little different, right? There's a little bit of
mm,
there's differences between how someone experiences music on Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon Music versus how they do on Gala Music, and it's up to us to highlight what those differences are and why they're better,
mm.
why they're different, and in what direction we're trying to take this in, because that's really what gets people to want to engage on our platform rather than for another. So it's really up to kind of us to differentiate the product, differentiate Gala Music from what's already out there, and there's so many things about it um, that help
Yeah.
do that. So
Yep, yep. You know what? And so, let's just jump right into it, right? I felt we had a good
Mhm.
warm up. We got to know Crystal's history, in her marketing experience, and just previous experiences beforehand. So let's just open it up, right? So Crystal, what would you say is some of the marketing strategies that we have outlined in Gala Music that we want to push forward? And once again, the questions we'll make this very just casual in terms of I'll make sure to continue to get some of your guys' questions in the mix as we continue this discussions. But let's just have an open dialogue on how we can really market this product effectively. So yeah, Crystal, let's talk through it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also looking at the chat, so anything that I see that I might can answer or incorporate into some of the things that we're just talking about, Jaehoon, I will.
Nice.
Um, but I do think, there's so many different ways that we're approaching the strategies, but one, like I was mentioning before, is priority. How are we prioritizing them? How are we thinking holistically about when and how those things are communicated and marketed? Is it the right time to push a certain feature of the platform? Are there some other conversations or optimizations via product that are needed just to make that transition a little smoother, right? We kind of we talk about this a little bit, but there's smaller enhancements like being able to share on your Instagram and Twitter songs from the Gala Music. Those things will greatly help artists and other people who are sharing exclusive content that's only found on Gala Music. So there are ways that we are working there with the product team to just do those small tweaks so that we can push this product forward. There's also that, I saw Crypto Lion in the chat saying that the Gala music community is its largest asset, and I 100% agree. Um, Part of what makes this space so invigorating, this community, is that all help each other out, and not just when it comes to what brought us together, Gala Music. It's even past that. So, how are we empowering and being resourceful with our community here um, when it comes to marketing and pushing and encouraging and inviting people to engage with Gala Music? Um, that's another big, big piece of it. And you were mentioning this a little earlier, Jaehoon, that always going back to kind of foundational guerrilla style marketing is really a surefire, impactful way of sharing information. So that word of mouth, these IRL kind of community meetups, events that we have been having mostly in LA, but before the end of the year, we'll be branching off into some other markets just to bring folks together and to network in a way that maybe they just haven't before. There's so much magic that comes when you're meeting with someone in person, holding a conversation. And I think that that is something that we can get away from, but I want to bring back to this community.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think one thing to really mention is, especially in
Mhm,
this space, it's all about timing, right? It's all about making sure
mhm,
we utilize our resources in the correct way. And as a team, we've been extremely cost efficient. We've drastically reduced spending from
mhm.
our part, and also
Unnecessarily, we're still spending, but
yeah,
unnecessarily, it's we're being more mindful and taking the actual learnings from campaigns and seeing where we're getting the most return or the most bang for what we're spending on. So when we talk about, I'm curious, and this is all a conversation amongst all of us. um what is the I mean, where should we be placing money? Where is it the most advantageous as a platform? We have these conversations all the time. These are all of our strategic conversations. So
yeah,
yeah,
most
I think that
definitely.
I'm happy you highlighted that.
And because the point to make is that right now, on the product side, we're really looking to, how can we make sure that we can capture, music fans to come more onto the platform and engage more than listening and create a gamified experience around that. And because, like, let's say, I mean, we've already have been running ads, but if we
Mhm,
have an effective ad strategy with the right funnels in place, we can just pump resources into that all day long, right? So when it comes to marketing, it's good that we talk in a granular sense of what we can do on our end, right? We can increase the ramp up of social media
mhm,
posts we do. We can engage more in community marketing. I've been hearing about influencer marketing. That's definitely going to be an
mhm,
important strategy that we utilize. But everything comes in the right timing. I think marketing at the end of the day, it's all about promoting and sharing the product, but the product has to be in the right place to be shared. We can look, for example, last year, right? We had the Earl Sweatshirt campaign. Had a bunch of users come onto the platform, but how did we? But none of them stayed. None of them stayed around. And I think it's important that we make sure on the product end we have these mechanisms in place so that we'll be able to successfully promote the product in the right focused way, like Emily Lazar was saying, right? Like usually corporations, they have a big budget. They can spend a big amount of money on things that might not move the pendulum. For us, in order for this to be successful, we have to really prioritize where we are spending our time and resources to
mhm.
make an impact.
Yeah, 100%, 100% with all those points you just shared, and, I'm looking at the questions in the chat because I wanna make sure we get to some of them,
Yeah.
okay, there's one from Robot Clinic that says, "Your target market predominantly Web 2, Web 3, or a mix of both?" It is a mix of both. Now, we have done some deep analyzing of our current audiences and seeing where we want to go, and we definitely want more listeners on our platform, a wider array of listeners, right? So that's going to lean more into our Web 2 user acquisition strategy if we're thinking about how granular we're being. The Web 3 portion, visually, it leans more Web 3, and a lot of the campaigns when it comes to what track owners, utility, things like that lean more that way. So it's more about opening up our creative use to our Web 2 quote unquote normie music lover audiences, because there's some really dope music, exclusive music that's on Gala, and also some really awesome emerging acts that deserve some of that shine, some of that marketing spend. When I say spend, I don't mean just monetarily, I mean resource wise, real estate on the platform and the app that wise, and a couple of other things as well.
I love what Robot Clinic said. He's like, "Thanks, Crystal A, for the granular answer." We're gonna all start saying granular now. Look, Emily's like granular, granular every
I do
time
love that
Crystal pops
word, but
in.
I feel like you talked it up, Jaehoon. I've said granular maybe three
That's the
times
first
before
thing.
this. Now I'm
Yo,
gonna
when
be
I first
crystal
met Crystal,
granular
he's like, "Let's get granular about
Anderson.
this." Every time we'd have a conversation. Look, Jeff was like, "When granular merch?" That's hilarious. So Bobby has an interesting question. So, what's your take on
Yeah.
Gala Music's USP elevator pitch? Is it a platform for emerging artists, a super fan ecosystem where fans connect with artists and purchase exclusive items, or something else? I still don't know how to properly pitch Gala Music to people.
This question is something that we get all the time. And Bobby, I'm going to be completely honest. It is a mix of both those 2 points. It is a platform for emerging artists to facilitate and grow their super fan ecosystem here, where you do get to connect and purchase exclusive items, but also share in the success and the rewards of being a fan of certain artists. When I go to Spotify to listen to Stevie Wonder, Stevie Wonder's not getting my 10.99 or even a significant portion of that a month when it comes to subscriptions. So having that pipeline is one depends on who we're pitching to. Are we pitching to music lovers or artists? Because they can differ slightly in how I would approach it because the interests are different and some of the kind of appeal of the platform is different depending on who you're talking to. But all in all, it is an emerging artist platform where you and I can share in the success of artists that we love.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, exactly. And I actually linked, I responded back with a link to the about music.gala.com site. I don't know if you guys have seen as well. We've done a lot of great updates to the site. This is one of them. And I think to kind of sum it up, there's four pillars to our proposition, right? There's discover and listen. For the casual fans who want to discover and listen to new music from chart toppers to emerging artists. There's unlock and access, which you unlock backstage access, exclusive artist experiences through the gamified experiences that we're going to create on the platform. There's own and collect. You own tracks and get music rewards as people listen and enjoy. And then there's host and shape, right, where you host music on a jukebox node. And future along the line, you're going to be able to kind of help shape the future of Gala Music as we continue to add more functionality to nodes. So really, if you look at our platform, it's all about the collecting of music. And what we're really focused on the product side is how can we use that music in an easy, maybe not everyone will participate on the platform, but the more we can get the utility of the music token just out there and people are excited about it and create momentum around it. The fact you can change an artist's lives and give them opportunities with the music token is something that we're going to highlight. And by the way, it was in the announcements, but we have Santiago joining in as head of product. And man, like this dude's extremely smart. Built like
Shout
one
out
of
to
the main
Santiago.
features. Yeah, yeah, built out one of the main features for the FIFA game. Did NBA Top Shot, huge basketball NFT type of product. And I was speaking to him about this, and we've been talking about level up your favorite artist, and being able to hold and burn music against an artist to get them ranked or whatever. But talking with him, I was really excited because he's
Mhm.
looking at it in such a bigger picture in how we can evolve this to be a game that anyone can engage in. That's just not even about that's just not listening. Anyways, I think I'm leaking too much, honestly. So I'm going to wait for that conversation next
Kinda
week.
diving in there, yeah.
When I introduce him, and we're gonna like once again, I really wanted the goal of these sessions is to get to know each other first, right? I don't like I know sometimes we all want the answers to all of these million questions and how we're gonna move forward. But one thing that's important is for us to get to know each other, right? If we can have confidence in where our intentions lies and where our skill sets are, I think as humans we're all pretty intuitive. We can kind of read the understanding that a person has. So my goal, like I said, is to kind of showcase the understanding and time we've spent thinking of these problems that we face, and many questions that come up in the community.
Mhm.
We're on the same page. I be on the chats all the time, and I see a question that the community poses or a suggestion, and I was thinking very similarly to some of those questions as well. So we're all digging into what can make this product better, and we have some really talented people. So just wanted to highlight that. My bad, Crystal. I didn't want to go off in a
No,
rant or
I
whatever.
mean, this is your interview to interview and kinda get to know all of us, in a wider way, some that maybe aren't as active in the general chat. Um, so
Yep, yep.
this is perfect. We can just continue to talk through whenever we wanna have one of these, whenever we wanna get, some artists up here, some, community members who wanna hop in here. I am open. I love having this conversation with you. I love that we can
Yeah.
just
Oh, this is fun. I mean, this is the conversations we
yeah.
have. behind the scenes. So it's great to take it and openly kind of have these conversations in front of you all. So really appreciate this AMA. A question that Dirty Fox had is new artists are great, but what plans are there to get the bigger hitters? And look, I'm gonna be extremely transparent with you all, right? We have the connections to reach really any artist, but or Crystal, you want to add to this answer? But
I mean,
ultimately it's about the budget and the timing. But yeah, I'll let you kind of go deeper into this.
yeah, there's a myriad of reasons that some of the quote unquote bigger hitters aren't on the platform yet. It can be, I will say to Jaehoon's point, between some of the music team who have deep connections that span their careers can basically get into contact with anyone. Um, but then there goes the kind of music red tape, right? That we're working around and really not even working around. We're too far ahead as far as thinking what the next iteration of this could be. That some of the labels, publishing arms, managers, artists even aren't quite there yet. So when it comes to getting bigger artists who have publishing deals who cannot release music or have never thought about releasing music in through a system like ours, there's so much education, so much comfortability that needs to be built, that is being built. I know that Tim on Thursday during his AMA, this would be a perfect question for him to kind of dive into. But,
Mm.
not all artists are able to release music outside of their current distribution deal. So there's a couple of kind of red tape areas when it comes to getting those bigger artists that our team, Layla, Ryan, Tim, um, lots of others that I won't just name here, are all having those conversations and slowly but surely carving out some of the bigger ones so that we have access to their music on our platform. Um,
Yep. Most definitely. Yeah, and artists are unpredictable too. Like I know, and I can't even speak on some of, I know there was that inside joke we have in the community, but sometimes things are outside of our control, and we can't even speak on certain topics as well. But yeah, I mean Ryan's a legend in the music industry in terms of some of the artists that he's managed. Layla, first manager of Tupac, and just really knows everyone in the space. Tim, been just an A&R for a long time and has, like the connections are there. It's not always about that, and we as a team know how to utilize these connections in a cost efficient way. But everything's about timing. I just want to reemphasize the point. You saw what the Earl Sweatshirt campaign did, right? I was actually a part of certain gamifications within that
mhm,
project,
mhm.
and it was fun. There was a lot of people who came on board, but what's the reason they stay, right? Is it just listening to music? I don't think we can, compete with the likes of Spotify when it comes to listening. I think with Web3, gamification is a much more better play. And if we can make this platform something that anyone can engage in and create little nuggets to introduce them to our main proposition, which is uh, the music token and strengthening that utility, I think we can really, drive forward on a lot of fronts. But everything is about timing. We're still in the early stages of Web3. Web3 music isn't even really talked about that much. But it's up to us as a community to drive those conversations forward. You guys can promote. You guys can promote this product in ways that we can't. There are certain things we cannot talk about, but you guys are free to do so. So just a couple of points to add on. But yeah,
Mhm.
this is getting fun. I'm wondering if we should just end it so it feels like, oh, they want to come to the next one. You know what I mean?
I think that they will. I think that they will. But I will say before we hop off, um, at me in the chat if there's anything specific, any like burning questions or ideas. I know that some of you have reached out via email, DM, and if I haven't responded, I will be getting back to you. But yeah, I'm completely open for conversation via any of those channels. So,
Yep, nah, most definitely. And so yeah, definitely gonna keep ramping up community efforts. I think this was a great session. Emily said Crystal, you the most granular of the granular. Like that's super granular. We're getting too granular now, but that you should
thank
change
you,
your name to that
Emily. Shout out to
granular
you.
Crystal A. Granular Crystal. Nah, I'm messing with you. But yeah, Crystal, it was great talking to you. Oh man, the conversation was so fun. It kind of flew by. A great turnout once again, guys. Everyone, go to the announcements, go support the announcements, put an emoji or whatever to help share with everyone how exciting these Discord stages are, and keep it honest too, right? Got a lot of things coming ahead of us. On Thursday, I'm
Hmm.
going to be talking to Tim Herndon. He's actually in the crowd right now. What's up, Tim? Here, let me see. How do I bring people up though? I wanted to actually get them to say hi or whatever, but we'll figure out next time. Tim is gonna have his AMA on Thursday. Ryan Rodriguez is gonna have his AMA on Friday. Tim, head of A&R, and we are going to be diving deep in. Once again, it's a get to know to Tim, head of A&R, but we're gonna be having just conversations around how we can expand our A&R efforts, and then with Ryan as well, going to be looking into some of the experiences that he's had. Tim, you want to raise your hand real quick just to say hi, or should we leave that to Thursday? No worries if you, no worries if you busy. I know you probably got some stuff on your plate, but appreciate everyone once again. And tomorrow we're going to have just a fun community session. Gonna be trivia. You're gonna be able to win a mystery box, a music mystery box if you slide through. So definitely come by. It's gonna be more casual. It's just gonna be me. So gonna just be having
Mm.
fun. Mm. But definitely stop by Thursday, Friday. Already said what we're gonna do in those days. So thank you everyone. You guys already
Thanks,
Wendy,
Jaehoon. Thanks,
May,
everyone.
peace. Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Bye. Or is it done? I'm messing with you guys. All right, peace out.